Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing my final mock draft for the NFL draft on Thursday. Um, don't want to waste any time. Let's get into it. I didn't pay for Pro Football Focus, so we won't be doing any trades. We'll just do the team that I picked, which is probably what's most likely to happen for about all of them. Pretty unlikely I'd be able to pick who's actually going to go, and then also this rankings is terrible. Emmanuel Forbes, who I really like. I don't think he's better than Tyree Wilson. The fact Tyree Wilson at 28 is absurd. He's probably gonna go top 5, honestly. But anyways, at 1, I'm gonna go Bryce Young. I think C.J. Stroud's fallen out of the running, sort of. And then the Texans at 2. There's a lot of talk about Levis going here, and I think Carter's kind of passed up Anderson for being the best player in this draft. So there's some real questions there, but I think the new head coach, I think he's going to want a stud defensive player, and that's what Jalen Carter is. He's probably one of the best defensive line prospects I've ever seen. A guy like Quentin Williams comes to mind in comparison. The Cardinals, honestly, they'll probably trade back here. Their roster is bad. They have a lot of holes, and they are not going to be a good football team next year if they don't get some pieces. But if they do stay, which they probably won't, they're not going to go quarterback. Kyler Murray's locked up, so then you got to start looking at. You kind of just want to look at the best player available here because this is a team with a lot of holes, and to me, that's going to be Will Anderson. The Colts up now definitely need a quarterback. It says a lot that they haven't signed one. They're drafting. If C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young gets to the Colts at 4, that's who they'll take. And if not, it'll probably be Will Levis. I don't really see Richardson going here. But we'll go C.J. Stroud at 4 to the Colts. The Seahawks up next, and at 5, I think they're going to go with where's he at? Jeez, the fact that Tyree Wilson is this far down is absurd. And really, PFF is a good tool, but these rankings are flawed. Yeah, Tyree Wilson at 5 to the Seahawks. His edge class is absurd, and he's going to be a great player. I think he'd be probably 1 or 2 in some different draft classes that we've seen over the last year. He'd probably be the best edge rusher in last year's draft, even with guys like Hutchinson and Trayvon Walker. Now the Lions at 6. This is an interesting spot for the Lions because they're a very, very good team. Some people think they're going to go quarterback, but I think if they go quarterback, it'll be later. I don't really see Levis going here. This says their needs are wide receiver, tight end, and defensive interior. But having just traded Jeff Okudah, I think they could really use some secondary help. And I think Devon Witherspoon is going to be the guy for that. It really just comes down to what you want between him and Christian Gonzalez from Oregon. And I think Devon Witherspoon, Big Ten guy, I think he fits the Lions' defensive style a little better. So that's my pick for them. The Raiders at 7. So the Raiders are a really weird spot. I think they're going to go Christian Gonzalez, but they could really do anything. They could get a wide receiver to give Garoppolo some help. I don't think they'll go quarterback considering they just signed Garoppolo. I think they'll wait a year and just try and do what you do with Jimmy G. I mean, he's gotten to a Super Bowl before. Are the Raiders as good as the 49ers were in 2019? Absolutely not. But, maybe if they build up that defense, it could be in 2 years. Maybe that's the formula. You've already got a ridiculously good wide receiver in Devontae Adams, who is aging. But I think for the Raiders, you just go for the best guy available. And to me, that's Christian Gonzalez. The Falcons at 8. A lot of Falcons fans have been looking at Bijan, and I just really, really don't see it. I think Nolan Smith is another guy that they've been looking at from Georgia. Falcons are in Georgia, so that'd be pretty cool if that happened for him. But I think that it's too far of a reach. I don't think you go with another receiver here. You got Drake London last year. Maybe in a later round, that's what you end up doing. But I don't see their receiver pick. What all edge rushers are left? I feel like I'm forgetting something. I feel like I'm forgetting someone. Am I at edge? Luke Van Ness. Luke Van Ness is a good player. He'll be in the mid to first round, but not here. Miles Murphy, Luke Van Ness. Yeah. Okay. All of these would be a reach. Anyways, so Falcons at 8. I think you grab Peter Skoransky and try and build up your offensive line for whoever your quarterback ends up being in the future. Now we got the Bears at 9, and I think they're going to get a tackle. I think they want Skoransky, and I think that's what they'll do if he gets to him. But in this scenario, he doesn't. So I think you go for the next best guy available, and to me, that's Paris Johnson Jr. Eagles at 10, another spot where Bijan Robinson's been. Where we see Bijan Robinson a lot. They need interior offensive line. But there's really no one at the top of this class that fits that role at all. Like the best player according to PFF is I don't even know who, Osiris Torrance. Like these guys are going to go in the second or third round, maybe even the fourth. They're not worth taking anywhere close to 10. Maybe at the end of the first round you could reach on them, but even still, they could kind of use wide receiver depth, and then defensively they need help at safety and the defensive interior, but it's still a really good defense. Um, and I think Brian Branch would fit it very, very well. I know he's been falling on a lot of draft boards, and honestly, he could fall to 20 if that's not what the Eagles end up doing. But I think he could come into the Eagles and be very effective very quickly. He's kind of a jack of all trades type of player. Um, and I think the Eagles could be handy with that. Titans on the clock. There's been some rumors that have not been very impressed with Malik Willis, who they drafted last year, and I kind of believe it, but I don't see him going with Levis or anyone really. So any of the quarterbacks, at least in the first round, and in the second, that'd just be weird. I think they're just kind of stuck with what they got, and I'm going to go with Smith and Jiba at 11 to the Titans. That doesn't mean I think they'll use him well. I think he will go to the Titans and he will be a bust, not because he's a bad player, but because the Titans won't know how to use him. Um, anyways, I think Texans at 12. So this is a spot where you passed on a quarterback early on, and all of a sudden, you get to pick 12, and Will Levis is still available. And I think that's what you go with here at 12 if you're the Texans. I think that pick makes a lot of sense. The Jets need a tackle pretty badly. You need a right tackle. There's just not really anyone here that's going to be able to do that. So that's not happening. But cool story, Jets. They also need a linebacker, according to this, which also isn't happening. So you don't have your needs. That just means you go with the best player available. And I think the best player, they'll probably go defense. I don't really see them going after Dalton Kincaid or Kinchad. Um, I think you go with Miles Murphy here. I think that pick makes some sense. Um, I feel like they would be interested in Cansey from Pitt, but I feel like his size would give him some questions, and rightfully so. He's probably the smallest defense nose tackle in the history of the league, which is absurd. Patriots at 14. It's a really weird spot for the Patriots because this team is also just not very good. They've got some definite pros on offense or on defense, but this offense isn't it. I think they go Jordan Addison. He's a guy who's been rising on a lot of draft boards, and um, I think he makes a lot of sense. Another guy who's going on a lot of draft boards, is going to go here. I think the Packers are going to come up and grab Quentin Johnston from TCU. The whole Packers and Jets thing is really weird. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is ever actually going to get traded. Starting to seem like he might not. It's been a month and a half at this point, and nothing's happened yet. So like, anything going to happen. I have no idea what the Commanders are doing at quarterback. I guess it's Sam Howell. I don't really see him taking a shot on Richardson here. I think you just try to keep building the best team available, or the best team you can. Um, so, like, to me, you deal with the best player available, and I think that's Kancey right here. The Steelers, this says they need a DB, and there's a DB I really like. He's up pretty high on this. It's Emmanuel Forbes from Mississippi State. This guy is incredible. He's ridiculously explosive. His ball skills are insane. The only con is he's 160. He's 6'1", 163. He's bro is slender, man. Um, but if this guy gets the ball, like if he can get an interception, which he will be able to, his ball skills are insane. He can, if it's in the air, he's got about as good a chance as the receiver does at getting that ball. And once he gets that ball, it's a touchdown. I think this guy, he's gonna maybe turn into a Trayvon Diggs type of dude. He can't tackle, which kind of a major thing, but he's going to be very very explosive in this league, and he will be able to get interceptions. That's not a question. The Lions now at 18, I think they go Anthony Richardson here. It's a really soft landing for Richardson. This is probably the best case scenario for him, is going at 18 to the line, or probably the best scenario would be going at 5 to the Lions, but 18 is not too bad. He's got a soft landing. Behind Jared Goff, he's got a few years to develop, get his mechanics hopefully a little bit better, and take over eventually as the guy in Detroit. Buccaneers at 19. Buccaneers another team who's awful. I don't even know what their like direction is or what they're trying to do as a football team. So I guess in that situation, it's another one where you take the best player available. To me, probably Lucas. Oh no, it's Zay Flowers, and it's not close. Yeah, Zay Flowers at 19. That's where he's gonna go. He's been rising the hell off some draft boards lately. Seattle now at pick 20. I don't really see him going quarterback here. Seattle's a team they want to try and contend now. If they're gonna get quarterback, it'll probably be next year or something. Um, and I don't really think Osiris Torrance is a first round quality player, but I could see someone reaching for him. I don't think it's going to be Seattle here, though. I think they go with Nolan Smith off the edge and pair him with Tyree Wilson, and all of a sudden you have a ridiculous edge pairing who are quite young, but in 5 years that could be the best edge pairing in the league. That could be insane. Um, for the Chargers, the way they want to play football, they're losing Austin Eckler. I have no idea where he's going to go, but he's not going to be a Charger next year. I think is what we're slowly starting to sort of realize. I'm not really sure what's happening with that. There's been a lot of players requesting trades, and trades haven't really happened. But I'll go Bijan here. Goes right into a very good offense, so it'll be fun for him. The Ravens, you got to give Lamar some help. I'm gonna guess he's back, but I don't know. Thing is, there's no receivers. Yeah, maybe not. I thought there was another receiver. They're not going tight end, obviously. You got Mark Andrews. In that case, I think you grab Lucas Van Ness from Iowa, and that's a bit of a splash for him. Vikings get a Maryland guy and Dante Banks. That'll be a fun pick for them. And so he'll definitely get some good usage. Joey Porter, got going to the Jaguars here. And now the Giants are on the clock. And you look at their needs, and there are none of those. So once again, go with the best player available. And to me, that is Mozzie Smith, who I think has been rising up some draft boards. He's going to the draft for a reason. It's definitely going to be interesting. Now, the Cowboys, this is where Bijan would go. If he's still available, the Cowboys will take Bijan. I'm pretty certain of that. But he's not, so now they got to figure out what to do. And I don't think Jahmyr Gibbs is I don't think he's that guy at that level. I think Brian Brees, I don't really see, like his pad level is kind of suspect, but he's got the IQ to be a top level player. Um, the Bills need a corner. They need a defensive lineman. Don't really need a linebacker as bad, but um, thing is, none of those things once again. So take the best player available. Who is that? Probably Will McDonald. Gonna be honest. I think he would fit very well in Buffalo. The Bengals now at 28. So weird spot. A lot of tight ends, a lot of tackles. Not a whole lot of talent. Not to roast any of these guys, but not a whole lot of talent. I don't see any of these DBs. Cam Smith type guy, DJ Turner, Hooker, Sanders. It's a solid linebacker. But I don't see any of these guys jumping up that high. Unless, PFF's completely messed up, which they haven't really. Um, I think you got to go tight end here. Like they kind of need a tight end to fit with their offense and give Burrow another weapon, as if he doesn't have enough. And you've got the two best tight ends in the draft available. You got Ken Meyer or Michael Mayer. I think Mayer's the better prospect between the two, and I think that's where he will go, is at 28. The Saints now, another really bad team. Best player available to me is probably Anton Harrison, but I don't even really know what you do in this situation. Like, I don't know. The whole AFC South, I have no clue what they're doing. At least the Panthers have the first overall pick. Like, that shows some sort of direction. But the Saints, the Bucks, and the Falcons are horrendous football teams, and I'm completely lost as to what they're trying to do. I guess we'll go with Osiris Torrance here. The Eagles, earlier in the draft, they grabbed, who did I have them taken? Brian Branch. So it kind of takes care of the safety need. Not like there's any safeties to select. Um, Another situation where you just go with the best player available, um, which is a lot of. I think that's a good philosophy in the NFL. And I think you can grab John Michael Smith's here, um, the center, and Jason Kelsey's going to be retiring soon. So we want a guy that can step in and play. Now, the Chiefs, I'm going to be real with you. You look at these tackles, the Chiefs got the pick of the litter. All right. To me, best one is Anton Harrison. I think that's who they'll go with. That's who I would draft. Not who I think they will. I have no clue who they'll go with, but that's who I would draft at that point. Um, not buying, bro. Can I deselect? Is it going to grade it, or do I have to pay? Okay, I have to pay. Anyways, leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys again soon. Peace.